Very happy to see all of you. It is my second time in Berlin, but thank you for inviting me. Earlier we did some meditation. What is the most important thing about meditation? It is maintaining a mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? Mind, mindfulness. So we have a mind. You can hear what I'm saying. What happens when you hear what I'm saying? We often think about it, right? We think about it, we interpret it, we try to make sense of what the other person is saying. A lot of times we get it right, we understand what they're saying. A lot of times we get it a little bit wrong and we misunderstand what other people are saying. And so that may cause miscommunication. It may cause conflict. And besides, we all have different background. We have different culture. And we hear the same terms, same words. We may think about it in a different way. And that is normal. That happens frequently. So when we are mindful, we try to stay cool and try to make an effort to understand better what they're saying. When we look at this world and what is happening in this world, we also try to stay cool and try to understand better what is really happening, as opposed to what comes across as a first impression. So when we can stay calm and not immediately and quickly react to what is happening, then we can do better. So one important element or quality of mindfulness is being able to stay calm. Stay calm. When we can stay calm, we can become more objective, more fair, more objective. And also, another important quality about mindfulness is being in the present. In the present. So, right now I'm saying something, you're hearing me, that's in the present. If I'm saying something and you're thinking about the lunch you had, then you are thinking about the past and you missed the present, right? If you're having a conversation with somebody, the other person says something and you think about something else, then you're not in the present. You're not hearing what the person is conveying. When the world is speaking to us, when my body, your body is speaking to you, if you're not in the present, then you miss the signals, right? If we worry about the future, what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, and next year, we're anxious, we're fearful, then we're not in the present, looking at what is happening right now, or what I can do right now. So instead of worrying about the future, we look at what we know now in the present and stay calm, and then maybe we have a good chance of tapping into our potential to learn to deal with whatever is happening right now. When we worry, we are not in the present. We are not calm. And often we are not objective. Yeah? So it's very useful to practice being present, being calm, being objective, and also being alert, being awake. We can be calm, we can be objective, we can be in the present and in a daze. We are not thinking about anything, we're in a blank. That's not very useful. We want to be awake, alert, aware of what's happening. Okay? So these are the 4 qualities of being mindful: being calm, being objective, being the present, and being aware. So you can talk to somebody, somebody's talking to you, and you are calm, you're objective, and then you say, what a beautiful clothes you have today. But you're not hearing what that person is saying. So you're not aware of what is happening. You're in your own world, thinking about something else. So awareness. How do we train for awareness? I want to do an experiment with you. So listen. Stay in the present every moment. Every moment when you hear the sound of the qing. I'll try again. Stay in the present, just being aware of the sound. What did you hear? What did you hear? Anybody? Tell me. What did you hear?
Nothing.
You hear nothing? Just the sound. Anybody else? Shy. Was that a beautiful sound? Interesting sound? Calming sound? So the sound does something to us, right? Why do we have this in a Buddhist temple? Because it makes a nice sound, makes us calm, bring our mind at ease. So there are 2 parts to this experience. When you just hear the sound, like he said, just the sound. And then your consciousness react to it. You may think, I like it. It's calming. You may think, interesting, I haven't heard this before. You may think, what is this thing? What is this called? You may think, how much is this? I want to get one for myself. Yeah? So, your awareness, just hear the sound, in the present moment. Each moment, as the sound goes, there's a vibration, right? And so when you're in the present, your awareness just receives that sound wave. But your consciousness at some time jump in and make a judgment, make a reaction, make a decision. I like it, I don't like it. Yeah? So the conscious part is useful, it's important, help us navigate the world, make sense of the world. But sometimes that consciousness works against us. When we were meditating, there were some noises, some voices from kids outside. Yeah? So, how did you react to that? Maybe you didn't hear it. Maybe you were dozing off. Maybe you heard it and said, cute kids. Maybe you heard it and think, I wonder what my kids are doing at home. Maybe you hear it and say, stop making that noise. You're disturbing my meditation. So people react differently, right? So notice this different conscious reaction. And sometimes that conscious reaction help you, sometimes it doesn't help you. Yeah? When your boss at work is not happy with your work and give you a ranting, say not so nice things to you. There's that awareness part and the consciousness part, right? Awareness part hears the sound. The awareness part of your mind is in the present. It simply hears the sound. It doesn't get emotional. It's your consciousness that gets emotional. Right? And it's your consciousness that decides, my boss is giving me a good lesson. I better listen carefully and learn how to do my job better. Or you may think, he's not being fair. He's picking on me. I'm going to quit my job. Two totally different reactions. So the awareness part of your mind simply hears the sound. It doesn't get emotional. It just receives the sound as it is. If we can bring the awareness part more to the foreground, front and center, then we can maintain more calmness and simply receive the message. It doesn't matter if you like the message or do not like the message. It's already being said. People will say whatever they want to say, right? So you hear messages all the time. If we are mindful, we take the message. And then if we get emotional because we don't like the message, then we lose the calmness. We lose the objectivity. And we lose the chance. We lose the freedom to decide how to react better to that message. Right? Do you have a freedom to choose how you react? Do you always get emotional when something critical or mean is being said to you? Do you have to react with anger? Do you have a choice? You do. But often we react out of habit because That's how we react to him since I was little. That's how I reacted because that's how my parents reacted. That's how I reacted because that's how all the adults reacted, right? But you do see once in a while some people who doesn't react emotionally. Some people who can take criticism really well. Yeah? Somebody who doesn't get angry as much. You do know people like that? Maybe Shifu Jianhu, right? Simplicity. So it is possible. Not just for a monk, not just for a Buddhist nun, for everybody. Everyone has a choice. If we learn to bring that awareness front and center, and then the consciousness a little bit later. Yeah? You don't have to react immediately, do you? It's not easy, but it is a practice. It is a practice. So the awareness part, the knowing mind, and the conscious judging mind. The judging mind you learned from other people. How you judge, what you believe, what you like, what you don't like, you learn from other people. The knowing mind was born with you. You were born with it. Everybody was aware, even when you were in the womb. You don't even know when that awareness started. It's always been there. Even when you sleep, do you have awareness when you sleep? Do you? How do you know? Can anybody prove it? Yes?
If you hear a loud sound, you wake up.
Yeah. If you're sleeping and I strike this big bell next to you, you will wake up, right? So even when you are in deep sleep, your awareness is turned on. It's always on. It is always on. That's why you wake up from an alarm. It's always there. It's been with you before you were born. But your consciousness, what you believe, how you judge, what you like, what you don't like, you learn from many people. And if you learn it from some people, you can unlearn it from some people. You can change how you react by learning from people who react better. Yeah? That's how you become wiser. That's why you come here. So you have a choice to react differently to what happened to you in life. Everything that happened to you in life, you have this awareness, this knowing that simply receives. And it is calm, it's serene. And that consciousness, if we can tame that consciousness, train that consciousness, you can become happier in life. You can become wiser in life. You can even become enlightened in life. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
Who doesn't believe it? You don't believe it. Why not?
It's not so easy.
It's not so easy. No, it's not easy. It's not easy. But it's easier if you come here frequently. It's easier if you practice with others, right? It's easier if you remind each other. It's easier if you remember the teaching. Yeah? Is it easy to speak German? Not for you, because you're not born here. Those of you who are born here, it's easy, right? To me, it's hard. Is it easy to learn Chinese? No? It's easy for every single Chinese, right? Yeah, it's not about easy or hard. It's always possible. It's possible. It's surely not every Chinese baby is a smart baby, right? But every Chinese baby learn to speak Chinese and understand Chinese, so it can be hard. Same thing. If you're immersed in the environment, then you will get better. You may say, oh, I'm old. I don't learn anymore. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. It's not true. Because neuroscientists have discovered that your neurons can regenerate and rewire even when you get older and older. Yeah? So believe in yourself. Let me stop here. I don't want to keep on talking. It's a Q&A. So I will be happy to receive any questions you have about anything. Yes?
What you just said about the different states of minds you can have. I, at the moment, struggle. I've been practicing Buddhism for quite a few years, and at the moment, I seem to be stuck the state of an angry mind due to disappointment or expectations I have, and I don't seem to overcome that obstacle.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Okay, I think that is a very good question. She's been practicing Buddhism for a while, but then seems to be stuck with an angry mind or expectations, right? So you already said one of the biggest reasons for us being angry, and that is expectation. We go around in this world with a lot of expectations that doesn't make sense. We have a lot of expectations of people that doesn't make sense. When you meet people, random people, you go to a store, you get on a bus, somebody on the street, you encounter people, and we get kind of upset when that person is not nice, right? Is that reasonable? Is it reasonable to expect people to be nice? No. Why? Just because you're nice? Expect everybody to be nice? Why? What if you have a different expectation? The people that I encounter in this world, probability-wise, half are nice, half are not nice. Then maybe you'll be happier. If you think about it, you don't know anything about the other person. You don't know anything about what they're going through. You don't know anything about what happened in their day today, what kind of difficulty they have encountered today, or what difficulty they encountered this year, or what difficulties they encountered their whole life. Why should they be nice? Maybe they are having a real tough time now. Yeah? So, what is your general experience? Like, how many people out of 10 are usually nice? Would you say 7 out of 10? 8 out of 10? Yeah? Is that your common experience? How about you? How many out of 10? 7?
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah,
7?
8.
You guys are so lucky. I mean, probability 50-50. You have been lucky. Maybe you're in a nice country. Why should I have a very high expectation of people when I don't know anything about where they're coming from? Yeah? Or if you have zero expectation, anybody who is nice to you, you are grateful. Oh, I'm so lucky today. I must be blessed. Let me return that good karma, that good feeling to others. You can think that way. You can choose to think that way, right? The important thing is that you can choose to think that way. You don't have to choose to expect everybody to be nice. You can choose to think maybe 30 people in the world are nice. And then 7 out of 10 are nice. I am double lucky. It's your choice. Okay, so expectation. Maybe you can think, if people are not nice to me, that's normal. Can you think that way? Yeah, you can think that way. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal part of life. It is. It is normal part of life. And then you just learn to deal with it. You just learn to deal with it. Last time I was here, I told a story of the gift. People, those of you remember the gift, right? Somebody came to humiliate the Buddha. He was saying really nasty things to the Buddha. Untrue things. False accusations. He was jealous, angry at the Buddha. How did the Buddha react? He used his awareness, knowing. He just listened. He did not get emotional at all. He was just, and he said, "Thank you for your gift. Thank you for your gift." Buddha is teaching us a way to deal with nasty people. When they say things to you, you always think of it as a gift. Some gifts are useful. Some gifts are not useful, right? Can you choose to live your life this way? To think of everything that people say to you as a gift? Can you choose to live your life that way? Yeah, why not? Do you think you become happier and learn more and grow more when you think of it that way? It's your choice, right? I'm not telling you you have to think this way. I'm giving you an option. How wise people react to others when things are not going well. Yeah? There are many different ways to deal with anger in Buddhism. You can look inside yourself. You can look inside yourself and you think, do I want to always react to this kind of situation with anger? Does that help me? Does that help me? It doesn't help me. Do I become wiser by always reacting with anger? I don't become wiser, right? I probably become stupider. Do I want to continue on this path of stupidity? Or do I want to become wiser? So, Shifu already told you a couple ways to become wiser. To lower your expectations and to think of it as normal and to think of it as a gift. Right? That will help you become wiser. So there are other ways. And you can also look at the other person as a future Buddha. We believe every single person can become a Buddha if they work on it, if they want to practice the Dharma, the Buddhist teaching, if they want to meditate and become enlightened, one day you can become a Buddha too. So I can choose to look at everybody as a future Buddha. I'm not lying to myself, it's the truth. It is true that every single one of you can become a Buddha one day. Maybe in another lifetime, but you will. So I'm looking at all these future Buddhas. How can I get mad at Buddhas? No, I want to make good karma. I want to make a good connection with a future Buddha, right? That's another way to change inside yourself to be wiser. So there's another way. There's another way. Shifu, did Shifu tell you last time about a poison arrow? Somebody shoot an arrow into your body. Okay? It hurts. You're bleeding, it hurts. So what you do, you pull out the arrow and you poke it into yourself 99 more times. Do you think there's stupid people like that in the world? Why would they do that? Yeah, that's what we do. When I think about something happened in the past that hurt me, somebody did something to me in the past that hurt me. That's like an arrow, right? And every time I think about it, I get upset. I get angry. I feel hurt. That person only did it to me once. I did it to myself many more times. I'm taking that arrow and poke it into myself all the time. 99 more times. Is that wise? What does an ordinary person do? They pull out the arrow and heal. Let the wound heal, right? We don't take the same thing. Yeah, of course, that person hurt me once. But I think about it 10 more times, then I do it to myself 9 additional times. Is that true? Is it true? So we do stupid things. But it's not my fault. I learned it from other people. It's okay. It's not my fault. I'm not trying to blame us, right? Don't blame yourself. But you don't have to continue to be stupid. You can change your perspective and be wise. So you look at yourself in the past. In the past, I reacted in a foolish way because I didn't learn a better way. But now you have heard a better way. It is to let go and forgive. You say, no, that's not fair. Well, maybe it's not fair, but I want to be healed. I don't want to keep myself hurting. Why do I want to keep on hurting myself 99 more times? Is that fair to yourself? No, it's not fair to yourself. It doesn't matter whether it's fair. Do you want to make yourself better? Feel better? Don't you want to heal? Yeah? It doesn't matter what that person did to you in the past. It's whether you want to heal yourself. If you want to heal yourself, you forgive and you move on. But there's another way. I can punch that person, make him hurt. Yeah, you can do that, but you can go to jail too. And after the punch, you don't really feel better. You don't really heal. So, you look at yourself in the past, you don't want to use the arrow to hurt yourself again. That's one way to deal with anger. And the second way is that use your awareness in the present and let the conscious mind react later. Bring the awareness to the front in the present. Okay? Lower your expectations of people. It doesn't mean that you don't trust people. When you don't have such a high expectation, unrealistic expectation of people, you can trust people better. You can understand people better. You can interact with people better. You can discover more about that person. And the third way is to look at that person as a future Buddha. So think about your past, think about your present, think about your future. You want to become a Buddha in the future. You want to have ultimate bliss. You want to achieve nirvana, the total ultimate peace. You want to achieve ultimate wisdom. That's being a Buddha. Then you learn from the Buddha. Buddha think of everything as a gift. Some gift I throw away. Some gift I keep and become better. Right? So there are many ways to deal with that. Another question?
Okay, well, thank you for being here, first of all, today. I really appreciate it. I'm facing a little dilemma at home. So at the beginning of spring, I sowed seeds for flowers on my balcony. And now they've grown quite a lot and they're starting to blossom and to bloom. But I've also noticed that they are now infested with parasites. And the plants were actually, at the beginning, intended for bees. So now I'm facing the dilemma of, well, what do I do? Do I just let it happen? Because the parasites will likely kill the plants and then the bees won't be able to collect pollen? Or do I do something against the parasites? I don't know, spray them with garlic water or whatever and potentially kill them? Or do I just let it happen? So I don't really know what to do. I'm really unsure here. So maybe you can offer some advice. Thanks.
That is tough. That is one of the reasons that the Buddhists, during Buddhist time, they don't grow anything. But if you know somebody who understands plants better, maybe they can help you. Sometimes it's not always bugs. It could be bacteria or fungus. So if it's bacteria or fungus, it's okay to use things to kill that. Because sentient beings with feelings, beings who have a mind, beings who can feel, sentient beings we don't want to hurt. We try not to hurt. But plants, they have living mechanism, but they don't have feelings, they don't have consciousness. What about bacteria, virus? Well, it's kind of fuzzy. In any case, they are very lower level life forms. If they could feel, you'll be very, very minor. We don't see that they have nervous system. Okay? So it's okay to take garlic water or hydrogen peroxide or whatever to maintain that clean soil. If you see bugs that you don't want, if you are patient, you bring them somewhere else, right? Or maybe there are some natural ways to repel them. Natural ways. For example, you have cockroach or ants or rat. There should be some natural ways to repel them without killing them. So look into those information. There are some sonic devices that the rats don't like, that can repel them without killing them, I think. Right. So that's one way to deal with it. Okay?
Thank you.
Anything else? Yes.
Shifu, you talked about the 4 quality of mindfulness. One is calmed, one is awareness, and you played the qing and asked us to hear about it. I tried once to hold my breath and only hear the qing. I noticed my awareness more because I hear clearly. But I know in the moment because I hold my breath and I would say it's less relaxed, but I don't know if I can call it really less calmed. And the other experiences you say about the awareness when we are asleep, we can know that because when we are wake up by clock or some other loud sound, and there's awareness. But this is also a situation where we are not calmed. And I think I always notice that when I'm sometimes when I have high awareness, I'm not calmed. And so how to combine these two things together?
Okay, so there are two questions. One question is, when Shifu was striking the qing, she was holding her breath and seemed to have higher awareness, but then also maybe body a little more tense, right? You don't have to hold your breath, all right? Sometimes holding the breath a little bit is good, but the idea is not that always hold your breath when you try to be aware, right? We want to practice being aware anytime. Okay, so you don't have to hold your breath. And the second question is, sometimes I'm very aware, very alert, but I'm not calm. That is true. For example, when you're working and you have a deadline, you have to work really hard, you're very aware, you're totally concentrated on your work, but you're very intense and you get exhausted, right? When you are not calm, that means there's some worrying or some anxiety, some emotional factor in your conscious mind that make it that way. So for example, let's say you are learning to play the violin and then you want to give a performance. And you look at all these people in the audience, you get nervous, right? You are trying to focus a great deal, which take a lot of awareness. You try to focus on what to play and try not to make a mistake, but at the same time you're very tense. You're not calm. Now 10 years later, you have played 100 performances, and you go on the stage. You're not nervous at all, right? Why? Because you are so familiar with it. You are more skillful. You've done this 100 times, and you can be calm and fully aware. What's the difference? The difference is practice. That's all. The difference is practice. So when we first practice aware, I remember many years ago, I was in grad school. I was still a layperson. I was in grad school, and I listened to a talk by my Shifu, the Grandmaster Wei Jie, for the first time. I was so excited because he spoke so well and so deeply. I was so excited, so I was trying to practice awareness. I was having lunch with a friend. I tried to explain to him what the Grandmaster said. So I told him, I'm practicing to be very mindful now. And I was having lunch and knocked over the water. So I feel really embarrassed. Before I was practicing awareness, mindfulness, I don't knock over the water. But now I'm trying to be mindful and I knocked over the water. Why? Because you try to focus on one thing and you miss something else. Right? So that's normal. When we first beginning the practice, we focus on something because we're not used to being alert and aware and calm at the same time. So we focus on this and we miss that. We focus on our mind and we misstep. Yeah? We knock over something. But the difference is practice. It's just doing more practice, starting with simple things. For example, simple repetitive things like brushing your teeth. That is a simple repetitive thing everybody does, right? But do you do it with mindfulness? No. Because it's so easy. So you do it. So think about this morning when you brush your teeth. Were you mindful of every tooth? Were you mindful that you got every crevice? Yeah? And the bottom and the inside? Did you reach every tooth? Every side of every tooth? You don't know. because you didn't do it mindfully. So tonight, before you go to bed, when you brush your teeth, try to do it with mindfulness. You don't want to brush too hard to damage the gum, right? But not so light. So just right balance and try to reach every tooth, even the inside tooth, yeah? And all the different surfaces. 2 minutes goes by very quickly. And when you put on your pajamas, try to do it mindfully. Something very simple. Start with that. Don't start with something hard, like arguing with your husband or child. And try to be mindful. I gotta be mindful. That's harder. That's a lot harder. But you can do it. One day you can do it. You can deal with your kid calmly, but it takes a lot more practice. Maybe 3 or 5 years of practice. It's a high level of difficulty. Okay? So that's all right. Just do more practice. And for example, throughout the day, try to have 5 minutes of mindfulness throughout the day, 10 times a day. So one of the things Shifu recommends to make a table of 10 things that you do every day, and try to do it mindfully. So for example, brush your teeth twice a day. So that's 2 out of 10, right? Let's say you walk from parking lot to a school or parking lot to work. Try to make that walk mindful. Be aware, calm and aware and present every step. Yeah? 3 minutes walk. Yeah? So taking a shower. Try to do it mindfully. That's a little bit harder because there's more different motions, right? So list 10 things. Oh, eating. One thing we practice is that it's hard to eat without talking at all because we eat other people, right? Family members or friends or co-workers. But we can practice first 5 minutes silence. Practice with a friend that you eat with. Let's practice 5 minutes of silence, and then you can talk. So the 5 minutes, just focus on the chewing. Just focus on the chewing and swallowing and tasting. Tasting the food without making judgment. You taste the different flavors without liking or disliking. Just feel blessed you can taste the different flavors. Yeah? Sometimes when you hurt yourself, my mom hurt her back once, and for a few months she couldn't taste anything. The nervous system was damaged. Fortunately, she recovered from that. But then when you lose that taste, you didn't know how blessed you are to be able to taste different flavors. No matter what kind of flavor, right? So that is something to appreciate. So make a list of 10 things, and then at the end of the day, mark the table. How many things I was able to do it mindfully every day. Do it for a whole month, and then you improve. Something simple. Start with simple things. To develop the habit of mindful practice. Okay? And you begin to see the change. Slowly. Anything else?
How do I avoid, besides the things you were talking about, how do I avoid falling back in my daily practice?
How do I avoid falling back in the daily practice?
Yeah.
There are a few suggestions. If you live nearby, then come to the center and practice. Shifu Simplicity offers daily, weekly meditation classes, Chan classes, Buddhism classes, and so have a weekly routine with others. It's a very good way to maintain the practice. Another thing is to start developing a habit. So the thing that I suggested. Don't start with making a plan for 3 years. Start with 1 week. 1 week. So I'm going to do this 10 mindfulness practice, 10 short mindfulness practice for a whole week. And at the end of the week, congratulate yourself, even if it's only 50%. Right? It's 50% more than before. So 1 week you could do it, then do it, so make a plan for 2 weeks. And then you finish 2 weeks, make a plan for 3 weeks. You want to develop habits. You know? We develop many habits in our life. We develop the habit to react angrily at people. Yeah? We develop the habit to worry when something has happened. So we can develop habit to be mindful. So Shifu recommend short-term plans, medium-range plans, and long-term plans. Short-term plans like 1 week, 2 weeks, you know that you can do. Or maybe just 10 minutes of meditation before you sleep or after you get up. Okay, 10 minutes for a whole week. At the end of the week, congratulate yourself. And then make it 2 weeks plan, right? So short-term plans, something simple. Don't make it too hard at first. When you make it too hard, I want to meditate for 2 hours every day. Maybe that's hard and you get frustrated and you don't want to do it anymore, right? So 15 minutes everybody can do, yeah? 15 minutes, reasonable for 2 weeks? You think so? Who want to make this plan for 2 weeks, 15 minutes a day? Good. So that's a short-term plan. And then after 2 weeks, you want to continue with another 2 weeks, right? Okay. So make short-term plans. And make some medium-range plans. For example, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, what kind of person I want to be like? Where do I want to improve a year from now? That's a medium-range plan. So try to imagine yourself a year from now. What kind of person you want to be? Is there some habit you want to get rid of? Is there some habit you want to develop? Is there some Buddhist learning what you want to learn? Do you want to finish 2 courses at the center? Right? So 1 year range plans or 6 months. And then make a long-term plan. 5 years from now, 5 years from now, what kind of person I want to be? You gotta think about it. You know, visualize. Right now, maybe I'm 25. What do I want to be like when I'm 30? Maybe I'm 60. What do I want to be like when I'm 65? When you visualize it, you have a better chance of becoming that person. Yeah. When you visualize it clearly, and you say, that's who I want to be. But you can always change. It's okay to change. So you say, 5 years from now, I want to be able to meditate 1.5 hours every day. Sounds reasonable? 5 years from now? Yeah? And then 3 years passed, you can only do 20 minutes a day. So, okay, 1.5 hours may be too ambitious. I want to revise my plan. So at the end of that 5 years, maybe 30 minutes. Can you do that? Yeah, you can do that. Don't feel guilty. Because you're learning about yourself as you move along. So don't be afraid to make 5 years plans. You know? In fact, every country should do that. Make a 5-year plan, and a 10-year plan, and a 15-year plan, and a 20-year plan. and try to move along those plans. When you think about governing a country, you want to move along short-range goals and long-range goals, right? You want to have a vision for where you want this country to go. So where is this country going 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Any other questions? Yeah.
I have a question about the objects of meditation. In your experience, is there or are there objects of meditation that are better than others? For example, there are some people counting breaths or visualizing light or whatever.
Right.
And I've tried a number of them, but I find that none of the objects help me particularly well. They all do more or less the same, or they're bad in the same way for me, at least. So that's why I'm just asking if you can
What have you
recommend.
tried? What objects have you
I've
used?
tried visualizing light, visualizing unity with everything, counting breaths, and it did not really help me
Okay.
particularly well.
Well, that happens. That's a good question. What are the different objects of meditation or different methods of meditation? And then are there some that's better than others? Yes, there are some that's better than others for the individual. So some people may count the breath and find that really, really helpful and calming. Some people get really bored with it quickly, right? So there are actually dozens of meditation methods in Buddhism. For example, Shifu has a YouTube channel called Prajna Dharma, and I'm teaching a set of methods called the Satipatthana, which I don't know, Shifu Simplicity maybe will teach too or have taught. So anyway, there's the set of meditation on mindfulness of the body. Mindfulness of the body, one of them, you begin with becoming aware of the body. So that means listen to your body. Becoming aware of what your body is telling you, what signal is sending you. And one way to do that is to scan from top of your head to your toe slowly. So you sit here, you just focus on the scalp and try to feel whatever is feeling. Don't imagine anything. Just, if you don't feel anything, that's fine. But you may feel some where the hair is coming out. You may feel some itchiness. You may feel that you are pretty tight on the eyebrow, right? So different sensations. Whatever sensation you feel, it's okay. You just feel it, but you don't react to it. Okay, you don't use the conscious mind. You just become aware of it. And then you move to your eyes. And often, we can notice that our eyes are very tense. The muscles in our eyes are very tense because we're so used to looking at cell phone and digital media for many hours a day, right? So what happens when we do that, when we look very close for a long period of time, your eyes tense up. And you can stay that way even when you're not looking at it. So your eyes get tired and remain tired. So just try to feel your eyes right now. Try to feel your eyes and mentally tell your eyes to relax. You can just sort of open up your eyes a little bit and just try to relax. Yeah, you can move your eyes a little bit and feel the muscles there and try to see it in a relaxed state. And you will notice, if you do this a few times, you will notice how often your eyes are not relaxed. So when you meditate, when you get to that part, relax your eyes. And then as you move down to your face, to your back of your neck, and maybe you notice that again your shoulders are tense because our posture, because the way we work. Yeah, because the way we work and type on the computer, maybe your shoulders are chronically tensed, right? So that even now, maybe it's hurting a little bit. Maybe it's hurting a little bit. Because your body is constantly telling you things, but we don't listen. We don't listen. We listen to this, my cell phone. I watch my cell phone, my focus here, and I ignore everything else. Yeah? So practice mindfulness this way, all the way down to your toe. You don't rush, just slowly, slowly. And if in some part of your body you don't feel anything, that's okay, because we are insensitive to the body. And then you become more aware, and you become more sensitive to what the body is telling you. And then you may be surprised, oh, how much my body is actually teaching me. For example, when you do this for a while, say a couple months, 3 months, a few months, next time you drink something like a cold soda, ice cold soda, you may notice your stomach is complaining. I don't like that. It is used to a warm environment. And Westerners love to drink icy drinks. But it's not good. It complains. But we don't hear. After I meditate for a while, a few months, I begin to notice this. Hey, actually, as it goes down, you can actually feel it. And then in the stomach, it doesn't actually like it. But we ignore that signal. We pay attention to this, to our tongue, right? When we eat, we pay attention to this, but we ignore the heart, we ignore the artery, we ignore the kidney, we ignore the liver, we ignore the stomach. So awareness of the body. And another practice is the mindfulness of feeling, which I will teach later and put it on the YouTube. So the idea is quite simple. Whenever you are emotional, whenever you have some feelings, whenever you love or hate somebody or something, you observe the feeling using your awareness, but you don't react. You just experience it as it is. It's called observing the feeling as feeling. You just see it as it is. For example, when you're hungry, you have a feeling of hunger, right? You observe the hunger. Instead of, oh, I'm hungry, when's the food coming? What should I eat? And you get into all kinds of conscious workup, right? Don't work up. You just notice for a moment the hunger. The hunger. Okay, there's hunger. Just experience the feeling of hunger as it is. And don't exaggerate it. Don't exaggerate it. Don't make it bigger than it is. Somebody say, how can you be so stupid? How can you make that mistake? You get upset. Yeah? There's a feeling of upset. One way to deal with it is to observe that feeling of being upset. Observe yourself. Oh, there's a feeling of anger. Yeah? You're not suppressing the anger. I'm just not telling you to suppress anger. Just see it as it is. Okay, I admit there's a feeling of anger inside, but it's just a feeling. You have many, many different kinds of feelings that come and go. It's not you. The anger is not you. It is just a feeling that happens in your mind and comes and goes. Isn't that right? We say, I'm angry, I'm so angry. You're exaggerating. You're making that one single feeling all of you. We do that, right? When you say, I'm so hungry, you're making that feeling of hunger all of you. But it's not. There's many things going on at the same time. You are bigger than that. There are many things going on at the same time. Your blood is pumping. Yeah? Your kidney is working, your liver is working, and your whole body is working, your stomach, your intestine is working, everything is working. And there's many things in your mind that you focus on, but you focus on that thing and exaggerate it. Say, oh, I got to eat right now. That's what little babies do. But you just see the feeling as it is, and you deal with it in a calm manner. Can you do that? Yeah? So the more you learn to become aware of these different things happening in your body and your mind, then the better you can stay calm and objective and think about how you can deal with it. So if you can see, okay, there's an anger, there's a feeling of anger. How do I deal with it? Shifu told me 3 different ways. Do you remember? What are the 3 different ways at least?
Everybody can be a Buddha.
Everybody can be a Buddha, right? So I'm looking at a future Buddha. Very good. But if you let the anger overtake you, you forget that, right? You forget that. So you say, okay, there's an anger. How do I deal with anger? Oh, look at him as a Buddha. Look at her as a Buddha. Look at myself as a future Buddha. Right? Good. What's another way?
Take everything as a present.
Take
everything as a present.
A gift.
As a gift. As a gift.
Everything?
You can take it as a gift, as a person.
As a gift, right. The person is giving me a gift. Is that a useful gift or not a useful gift, right? So when you think about it this way, you're being objective. Is that a useful gift? Did I just receive a useful gift? A useful constructive criticism? Did that person help me see a side of me that I didn't know? Or did that person misunderstand and then being unreasonable, in which case I can still thank him for the gift. But then I just throw away. I just let it go in and let it go out. Good. That's the second way to deal with it. What's another way to deal with it? Look at your past. Right? Right? Do I want to use that arrow to hurt myself? No. Okay? So that's another way. So about the object meditation, there are many different objects of meditation. So breath counting is actually a kind of mindfulness of the body. There's a whole category. Walking meditation is a way to do mindfulness of body. So if counting doesn't work, maybe walking works. Maybe you can walk in the forest, in a park, just walking, noticing every step. Noticing every step, just being aware without thinking about anything, just being aware. That's a practice awareness of walking. That's another way. Practice scanning the body. Okay? Practice observing the feelings as feelings. These are ways you can try. Okay? There's also more, like compassion contemplation, which Shifu will talk about in the 7-day China retreat that is coming out. I talk about it in great detail. Any other questions? Anything at all? Yes.
So about dedicating merits, like it's more like natural to think about like people that we care about, but would it be like more beneficial to dedicate them to people that we have bad relationship?
Very good question. Yes. We have what's called a dedication of merit, which means that when we do something good, like meditation, that's creating good karma, or learning about the Dharma, like tonight, that's creating the good karma. So at the end of today's session, we'll have a dedication of merits. What that means is that, okay, we have done something good, beneficial to ourselves and others. So we have consequences of the good karma. What is karma? Karma is work. Karma is action. Okay? Karma is action. I have heard people say, oh, you always talk about karma. That's not fair. But karma is simply action. The issue with karma is that whatever actions we perform, whatever words we say, it may create a positive or negative impact on other people, right? Other sentient beings. So when we do, that is called a good or bad karma. So we have created an action that benefits somebody or hurts somebody. That's called good karma and bad karma respectively. When we create this kind of karma, then by the law of causality, cause and effect, blessings or merits or suffering will come back to us. So when I kill, when I kill an animal, that animal suffers. And in the future, when that animal gets reborn, and I encounter that animal may want to kill me. I may suffer from it. But when I help somebody, when I'm very kind to somebody, in the future, when I need help, I may receive help. Okay, so the consequences. So dedicating of merits means that we have generated some merits today. Let me not be selfish and enjoy the merit myself, but let me share the merits with others. That's called dedicating the merit. Okay, it's like, hey, I want a lotto. I'm not recommending you to buy lotto, but I'm just saying, hey, suddenly I receive a lot of money. Let me share that good fortune with other people. Okay, so dedication merit. The question was, we dedicate merits often to people we care about, like my parents, my spouse, my children, my family, my friends. But shouldn't we dedicate the merits to people we don't like or people who have hurt us? Yes. Yes, that would be a good idea. May not be fair. You say, but Shifu, that's not fair. They hurt me. They stole money from me. They made me look bad. Why should I share my good merits with them? Why? Can somebody tell me why?
Repay my karma. Compassion.
Good. Paying back karma, compassion. They are future Buddha. So there are different ways to look at the person who is mean to me, the person who is bad to me. One common sense thing to do is to make that person suffer, right? We have the urge. You make me suffer, I make you suffer. What is the long-term consequence of that?
War. Negative feedback loop, I guess.
Everybody suffer more, right? You and that person will continue to suffer more, right? Is that wise or foolish? Yeah, so it's not about fairness or not. It's about, do I want to make myself suffer? Do I want to make others suffer? Why do I do something that make myself and others suffer? Right? So we don't want to be foolish. So if I dedicate merits to the person, I want that person to be a good person. I hope that person will become a good person. I hope that person will be kind. I hope that person will be enlightened. Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. If all the bad people, mean people, violent people become enlightened, isn't that the best that can happen? That is what we want, right? So we make a dedication. May all the people in the world, you can say, especially all the people who are causing suffering. All the people in this world who are causing suffering right now, may they all encounter the Buddha's teaching. May they learn to be compassionate. May they change their ways and learn to care about others. May they benefit themselves as well as others. May they achieve enlightenment and may they become Buddhas. Isn't that the best result? If they become Buddhas, they will never hurt you again. So it makes total sense. So what we usually do, that let's say you did a meditation session today, or you read a sutra, you studied the Dharma, and then you want to make a dedication. You say, what we usually do is you can dedicate the marriage to the people you care about first. Yeah? Your children, your spouse, your family, whoever else. And then you can make a dedication to other people who are neutral people you don't know, but you encounter every day. You don't have any kind of serious interaction, but they help you make the world go around, right? The bus driver, yeah, the person that sell the grocery, and then you dedicate to the people who you have bad karma with. You have bad karma with, whether people that hurt you or the people you hurt. You want to use the marriage to mend that relationship, to change that relationship into a good relationship, into a mutually beneficial relationship. And then you finally dedicate marriage to all sentient beings. May they all become enlightened. Okay? Then you cover everybody. Does it work? It works. The power of mind. Mind is very powerful. Even if you just think about it, it makes a difference. Any other questions? Yes.
Shifu, I have a question about my parents. It's like I was stay with my parents for several weeks before, and I noticed that they will kill their mosquitoes very automatically, without thinking. So I discussed with them, like I don't think it is right or something like that, but they got angry with me because they disagree with me. And
So they want to kill the mosquitoes, and you ask them not to? Is that what happened? So your parents
yes,
kill the mosquitoes? They think they
Yes.
should be killed, right?
yes,
So you're being a good Buddhist, you say, Mom, don't kill the mosquitoes. And they get angry at you?
yes. Actually, they think I'm a little bit annoying because they think the mosquito has drink their
Carry
blood
disease,
at
yes.
first, and so it is so hard for me because I feel sorry for both of them. I don't know in this situation what should I do.
Okay, so when our Buddhist way of life conflict with people that are close to me, right? Then what do? So in this case, your parents believe that when you see mosquito, you kill them because they carry disease, which makes sense, right? But then the Buddhist way is we don't kill sentient beings. Now, so they don't like it. One thing to remember is it's very hard to change your parents. They are older and they are more fixed in their thinking, right? And you live here, you come here, you learn about Buddhism frequently, and then your life are different. So unless you spend a lot of time bring them to Buddhism without making them upset, that's skill. It takes a lot of skill to bring somebody else you care about to learn about Buddhism without getting into conflict, right? So you want to be skillful. You don't want to start with something that you fight about. So when you try to talk to your parents about Buddhism, you don't talk about mosquitoes. You say, maybe let us practice meditation for 5 minutes. Maybe let us do a dedication before a meal. Yeah? Let us be grateful. So for example, let us be grateful of our meal. We say something like the 5 contemplations. This offering is the fruit of many work and care, which means, so many people putting so much effort to make this food, this meal in front of me possible. I'm grateful of all the people that participated in making this food for me, right? And then I hope to make good use of this food. I want to be healthy so that I can create good karma for other people. Something simple. Something simple, not too hard. So you start with something that you don't conflict with your parents, right? So don't focus on the points where you conflict with your parents. Focus on something that both of you can agree with. Okay? So that's one thing. That's a long-term plan. Short-term plan, if you can't convince them to let them go, then you don't deal with it. You don't deal with it. They do what they do. You try to keep the house cleaner so that the mosquito doesn't want to come in, right? Lower the probability that you will see mosquitoes. So don't go into direct conflict because people will do what they do. People will do what they do. 他们就是每个人还是做他们想要做的事情. So there's no point when they don't agree with you to try to argue. There's no point. But do it with your action. So you practice Buddhism through your action in a way that, oh, this is such a good daughter. She's a better daughter than before. Then she will become more likely to listen to hear what Buddhism is about. Okay? And of course, they will continue to kill the mosquitoes. You just dedicate the marriage to the mosquitoes. You got killed by my parents. May you get reborn as humans and have a chance to listen to the Dharma. Don't get reborn as mosquitoes anymore. I dedicate my marriage to you. Hope you get a better rebirth. Okay? You work on it from a different angle. 从别的地方切入. So some people may wonder, but mosquitoes do carry disease, right? Well, the thing is, no matter how many mosquitoes you kill, do they seem to decrease in number? No. You kill one more, you kill one less, they don't seem to decrease. But there is a teaching in Buddhism. If you're very, very compassionate, you're less likely to get poisoned. You're less likely to get infected with disease. I'm not telling you to go see a doctor. I'm saying when we practice compassion seriously, you are less likely to get infected with poisons, with things that harm you. Okay? That's the karma. Because we help others, others help us. That's a karma law. Anything else? Okay, last question.
How can I train this consciousness in order to it doesn't hinder the awareness to get awakened?
How do I train the consciousness so it doesn't hinder my practice of awareness? So our conscious mind is like a two-edged sword, a two-sided sword, right? It can hurt you, it can help you. So there are two types of meditation practice. One that uses awareness, the knowing mind. One that uses consciousness, the thinking mind. So when Shifu said, mindfulness of the body, just scan your body from head to toe, you're using awareness. You're not thinking about it. Right? Okay? So let's say you scan to your knee and then your knee hurts. Maybe your joint hurts. You receive that sensation and you acknowledge it and you move on. You don't think about it. You just acknowledge it, you know it, and you move on. Okay? When you just move on, the pain is not so serious. Often the pain, the discomfort become more serious when you think about it, when you exaggerate it. We exaggerate our suffering. But when we don't exaggerate, when we just simply practice awareness, then it actually helps. It actually helps. Okay, So there's one type of practice that just mainly uses awareness, like focusing on the breath. You don't think about the breath, you just focus on the breath. Breathing in, breathing out. That is the first type of meditation. A second type of meditation, you use thinking, you use your consciousness. Use your consciousness to think about the right dharma, the right teaching. For example, compassion contemplation. Metta, or compassion contemplation, that is a meditation method. When you sit here, you think about people who are good to you, people you have good karma with, like your parents, your family, your good friends, and so on. And you think about, there's the steps, the steps that we teach in the 7-day meditation, or maybe Shifu will be able to teach you as well. So you can learn how to practice this compassion contemplation. You think about the people that have good karma with you, and you want to share your merits with them. You think about all the things they've done for you, all the things, ever since you were little, all the things they've done for you, all the things they take care for you, and so on and so on. And you generate that gratitude. Appreciate it, and want to be good to all of you. I want to share my merits with you. And you think about the neutral people, people that don't have good karma or bad karma with you, the people you meet on the street, the people that take the bus with you, that take the train with you, right? So even though you don't know them, but they function in this world to make the society go around. And the people who make the clothes, make you clothes, which may be thousands of miles away, you don't know them, but then they help you, right? So you're thankful to them. So, and then the third category are the people who have bad karma with you. So we went through some of the reasoning why you should be thankful to the people who are bad to you, right? They make you stronger. So these are an example of meditation that use consciousness, that use thinking. But you think this way to remove our ignorance. To remove our ignorance, to become wiser. So that's one way to do it. All right? When you focus on the awareness, then the consciousness tend to not take over. A lot of times the conscious mind take over, and we exaggerate it, become all of me. You just don't let it take over. It's just part of you. It's a part of you that comes and goes. Okay, it's not all of you. Your judgment, your belief, how you feel, your emotions, your ideas, the things you want to say to the other person, they're part of you. But they're not all of you. It's just a part of you that comes and goes. Okay? Don't identify I with those thoughts. But you're not denying them. You're not suppressing them. You just say, okay, it's a thought that comes and goes. Big deal. Like the clothes you wear, and then you wash it. You take it off, you wash it. It's not the clothes I wear anymore. Same thing with those thoughts. That's how we look at it. Okay? Our time is up. So I hope that everyone had heard something useful. When you go home, think about some of the main points that we talked about today. Write it down in your journal so you can remember. And make the short-term plan, mid-range plan, 5-year plan, right? And let's hope that we become a much greater version of ourselves in the future.